aștept să... Da,
Înțeleg că intrăm și pe Facebook.
Da, când e cald, când e frig. Ok.
Cred că am intrat în cameră comună acum. Bună seara, mă adresez eu așa de început. După cum știți, alocăm vreo 2 minute pentru intrarea în cameră a participanților la webinar. Facem după aceea micile diligențe de organizare. Bine ați venit!
Da. Bun venit!
Bună seara! Bună seara, depinde pe ce meridian vă aflați. Înțeleg că vom fi live și pe Facebook odată ce demarăm oficial evenimentul. Bună seara! Bine ați venit! Ne conectăm. Într-un minut începem discuția efectivă. Da. Așteptăm să conecteze cei din camera, din waiting room. Un pic ciudat în mediul ăsta virtual. De fapt, hostul, care e colega mea de la marketing, ea știe mai bine cine ce face. Noi asistăm neputincioși aici.
Stai liniștit că și dacă și în mediul offline, dacă te duci și nu cunoști persoana, stai tot așa awkward silence.
Păi au trecut 2 minute, cred că putem da start și facem și transmisie live pe Facebook odată ce o pornim. Bună seara, bine ați venit, mă repet, dar ne-am adunat mai mulți între timp și continuă să se conecteze. Bună seara, spuneam, e relativ, pentru că, de exemplu, avem pe Andrei Dunca, care am aflat că e ora 8 la el și ne bucurăm că e atât de matinal și datorită nouă, nu a spune din cauza noastră. Mulțumim că ești alături de noi, Andrei.
Sigur,
da, o să lăsăm pe Sergiu să depună cel mai mult efort în seara asta pentru el. Ne bucurăm că ne-am strâns aici. Chiar rememoram, mi-am dat seama astăzi, când am făcut și un post pe LinkedIn, că acum aproape un an am fost invitatul lui Sergiu la Neascultătorii și el era în calitate de host. Astăzi s-a întors roata și o să mă răzbun pentru întrebările pe care le-am primit de la Sergiu acum un an. Mă bucur că suntem aici din motive de audiență și avem și participanți străini. Acestea fiind spuse, o să facem switch to English. Suntem majoritari români, dar avem și audiență străină, așa că și transmisia live ne va ajuta să broadcast all over the world. So, welcome everybody. I'm Andrei Dudoiu, co-founder and CEO at SeedBlink, and I'm very happy to host our monthly, actually now it's almost twice per month, the event with the founders that we have campaigns for different startups. They are listed on SeedBlink. And tonight we have Sergiu Biriș, co-founder and CEO for Eventmix.live, and Andrei Dunca, co-founder and investor at Eventmix. Happy to host you here. Welcome.
Thank you. It's very good to be here, and thanks for the opportunity to present our product to all your investors.
And hi, Andrei. I think it's a right moment to start the pitch, and just everybody to be aware, we have maximum 1 hour for the event. We'll start with pitching, And we have also a short product demo. This wouldn't take more than 20 minutes, Sergio, probably. And then the most important part, the Q&A, is coming after. If you have, normally it takes 20 minutes. If you have more questions, we promise not to drop any question, and we'll address all of them to our guests. And yeah, at the end, we will try also a short survey if you, anonymous, if you would invest or not in Eventmix. So Sergio, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Andrei, for the introduction. Hi, everybody. Just a short intro on myself and Andrei. We are both serial entrepreneurs. For the people that maybe don't know us that well, we're serial entrepreneurs. We started quite a few years back together in 2007. We built together Trilulilu, which became the most popular user-generated content website in Romania with more than 3 million unique visitors per month. Great project and community. Our most successful project together, we co-founded LiveRail, an advertising technology company, back in 2007 as well. A company that was super successful. You might have heard a lot about it. It was acquired by Facebook in 2014 for around 500 million. So we've been together in different businesses for a long time now, and decided to build Eventmix together as well. Now, Eventmix initially started as an idea, initially as SoundMix in 2018-19, when we wanted to build a live streaming solution for music festivals. But of course, the pandemic came, and we had a great technology on our hands, but essentially no market. So even though we live streamed like the Never See Festival back in 2019 from multiple stages, we had this very cool experience in the app. Unfortunately, we had to do something about it and decided to pivot the entire business towards virtual events. So essentially use the technology that we had and expand it to a broader market audience. Now, we knew that, of course, that there were a few products in the market at the time. I will also share my screen with a deck in a second. Let me see which screen I should share. Okay, I'll share this one, and okay. No, wrong one, huh? Okay, share the other one. Okay, so right from the beginning, we knew that there were some products in the market for virtual events, most popular of them being Hopin. So we decided to essentially differentiate from those products and focus on a white label solution, which is not something they offer. They are very different, and focus on the corporate market. So essentially the corporate market needs okay. The corporate customers have a few challenges, like they need their own custom branded solutions. They need a lot of security behind their events, and they care a lot about data protection. Now, this is something that platforms like Hopin, because they're built like venues, like Sel de Evenimente, where you take your event and then you send your users there, and essentially you need to become a Hopin user if you want to join the event. This is something that for the corporate customers it's not acceptable, so they needed a more customized solution. Now, customized solutions in the market are quite expensive and because they focus mostly on the enterprise market, and they're really, really overwhelming to use. So there was no very simple product to offer corporate event organizers a very, very simple solution so that they can launch corporate events with all these requirements in mind. Now, what we set out to do is create an all-in-one solution that allows organizers to easily run events under their own brand. So it works in simple terms, just like a website builder for virtual and hybrid events. I will show you the demo in a second, but basically from a very intuitive administration area, you can immediately launch a landing page of an event, customize it with your own branding, and then just focus on bringing people to the event, because we streamline everything starting from user registration, ticketing, customizing the experience, sending the emails, creating the networking areas, expo booths. Everything that you need for a successful event is built in, and you don't need any line of code in order to launch your event. So it's a very, very powerful and simple solution for corporate event organizers. The business model behind it is very, very simple as well. So we've only launched recently in beta, so we wanted to be very quick in the market. So in that sense, we started off with a very simple business model. So it's free to set up, and you only pay $2 per attendee per event, plus 10% of the ticket revenues if the event sells tickets. So you can think about this as a pay-as-you-go model, where event organizers only pay whenever they use the product. And of course, we are going towards a SaaS model where we will be implementing subscriptions in Q3 of this year. So in the future, organizers will be able to also subscribe to different packages. Now, the virtual event market, of course, has, I would say, benefited the most from the pandemic. It grew just exponentially. If you know, the entire global events industry was valued at 1.1 trillion in 2018. The global events market is going to be around 400 billion by 2027. So it's growing very, very rapidly. There is a very big need. Essentially, what happened with the pandemic is that the entire customer behavior and the way organizers launched events changed completely. So this is accelerating the market, and we see a very, very big growth and demand in this segment, a lot more than basically any other market right now. Since our launch in beta, we reached a few very important milestones. So our biggest client locally is MediaMed Publicis, which is the biggest company for pharma events in Romania, and pharma and medical events. This vertical is super important for us. We can talk about that later. And we basically launched a medical congress with more than 1,600 doctors in the audience, and they only required one person to manage the entire event. So it was super easy for them to use it. And then the biggest breakthrough came from a strategic partnership that we signed with the company in Germany called Event Inc. They basically have the biggest portfolio for corporate event locations in Germany. So essentially, companies go to them whenever they need a location for an event, and we will be their exclusive virtual and hybrid events partner. It's going to be a very close partnership, so we will be providing the technology and they will be providing the sales, marketing, and customer support on the ground in German language, which is super, super important. Basically, this is what we will be focusing on as a next step after the fundraise, making this partnership work, implement events for their 1,000 clients. So we expect a very significant portion of our business to come from Germany. We've also set up our sales presence in the United States. I've actually negotiated some events myself, and we launched an event for a customer in the US, and it worked really well. Essentially what we want to do is create a sales presence there and focus a lot more on customers in the United States. Now, our ideal customer, just to give you an overview about who we're addressing, are corporate industry event organizers, whether they are agencies or direct clients. And we are aiming for verticals like healthcare, HR, law, banking, finance, because they are kind of like the sweet spot type of customer for us. They need a lot of customization, they need security, they need privacy. They can't send their users to third-party platforms. Why? Because, just to give you an example, I told you about a medical congress. When you have doctors in the audience and pharma companies are sponsors, whatever they talk there cannot be shared on third-party platforms. So they need a lot of security and privacy behind their events. And these types of customers usually run multiple events every month. They require a very fast, a very simple, very customizable technology. I mean, think about event agencies before the pandemic. They were not techie people. Most of them at least. So I looked on LinkedIn. A lot of them actually reduced their personnel. They are smaller in size, so they need very simple solutions to implement events and be able at the same time to charge their customers with more customization, support, etc. So in a sense, we're helping them generate more revenue. I have a few case studies in the pitch deck, which I won't go into because I mentioned the medical congress. SuperTeach is an NGO in Romania that uses our product weekly now. They just had a gala last evening. They're super happy with the product. They do a lot of networking sessions and interactions with their attendees. Our go to market plan is essentially focused on a few channels. We are getting a lot of inbound, so we are getting we have customers that are contacting us directly, either through word of mouth or referrals from other customers, or from usual ads channels. These are typically they're smaller clients, so they require like a low touch type of service. They use the platform in a self-service way. They don't need a lot of support from us. Then we do outbound. We contact agencies. We discuss with direct customers. This is somewhere where we'll have to put a lot of our resources on. So building a sales team, which we know how to do, and talking with especially with agencies, because as I said, they're an important customer segment for us. And then usual marketing tactics like content marketing, partnerships with media companies that can bring us customers, paid acquisition, and so on. In terms of competitive landscape, yes, there have been a lot of players that became active in the market. Most of the players are kind of traditional event software. So they were doing they were doing event management for offline events previously to the pandemic. So they had to adapt to the new norm. So these are companies like Cvent, on24, Events here. They basically launched virtual event platforms. Now the problem with these guys is that it's very hard for you as a customer to set up your event, get in touch. You have to get in touch with them. There's a complicated onboarding flow. They're quite expensive. You have to sign for an entire year to use their product. There are then, but they're a white label solution, so we kind of compete directly with these guys. And so what we did in comparison with them, we went to the mid-market segment. So they're going for the enterprise market. We're going with the smaller, small to medium customers, which can use the platform as a self-service. So that's how we differentiate from them. Now, Zoom, Remo, Webinar Jam, Teams, Google Meet, etc. These are platforms that are going for a limited use case. So Zoom is great for 20 to 30 or something people, but it's very hard to have an entire event on Zoom. A lot of our customers were trying to do that, so they were using Zoom and then registering their attendees on another page, and then those guys would come in, and then for a networking session they would use another product. So it was very, very complicated. So when you have like 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 attendees, it's very limited. It's the same with platforms like Webinar Jam or Livestorm. They are good for 100 to 200 or 300 attendees, but then for larger events where you need, like an expo area and networking tables and stuff like that, it's not great. And then we have the platforms, the venues, like I said, where there's Hopin, Airmeet, and a few others. There were a lot of, let's say, copycats that wanted to copy Hopin directly in the market. These guys are not appealing, as I said, to the corporate customers. They're going more for the long tail market. So that means very, very small events where you don't need a lot of customization. So you just want something out there. Or they're also going for the for the enterprise market, because if they offer some level of customization, it's expensive, and they're competing with Cvent, Welcome, and these other guys. So we positioned ourselves as a white label solution that's in the mid market, super easy to use, self-service. So you use it yourself. It's secure, it's feature rich, and it has a very simple pricing model. Now, in terms of competitive advantages, there are some unique things about our model, which is, for one, it's the embedding factor. So this means that our event organizers can host their event on their own website. So they can use their own URL, and I'll show you in a second how that works, which is something that other platforms don't offer. It's very well suited for hybrid events because you create one website for your event, and then you can also have an offline event plus online from the same experience. The organizers owns the data, which is super important. And then something that we're working on, and I can show you later, is we will generate strong network effects from an open ecosystem that we're building within the product, which is going to be a marketplace where developers will be able to create add-ons, apps, themes for all these events. So it will create a multi like a hyper customization type of experience, which will differentiate the product even further. Now, our vision for the future is to start with virtual events, which we've done. Going to hybrid, our product works great for that, and essentially in the end cover all of the needs of the event organizers. This is our roadmap. I won't go a lot into details. Don't want to bore you with a product. The funding round, you'll get a lot of details from SeedBlink. And in terms of investors, we have Gapminder on board, which you probably know, an early stage VC fund in Romania. We were an alumni for the Family Accelerator program, and we have a few very well-known angel investors on board as well. Now, I would like to go into the product demo really quickly. I hope I'm okay with time, Andrei.
Yeah, you were supposed to finish also the product demo, but
okay, so I'll go fast.
It's fine. Yeah.
I'll go fast through it. Okay. So this is the. Am I sharing the right screen? You see the admin area, right? Okay. So this is the administration area for. This is you're in the role of an event organizer. Now these are all your events or conferences. I'll go into this one. Whenever you create an event, the platform automatically creates a landing page for your event. So which looks something like this, which you can customize from the administration area. So you have, everything that you need, including adding the event to your calendar or even individual sessions. You can add testimonials, you can add tickets, the registration flow, everything is done automatically when you create your event. So you add your details, you can add speakers very easily. So I won't go into details how you do that because it's very simple. You can have multiple stages running in parallel for your event. So just like a festival, like I said, you can have the main stage, workshop stage, different things happening in parallel. Then the schedule, which is very easy to create. So you just, like just normally working with a calendar, you add something here and then you just, you refresh your landing page and everything is added to the landing page. So super easy to do. Then the tickets area, which is quite important, the tickets and registration. So you can create different tickets for like you can create free tickets or paid. You can give access to all of the days of the event or only one day, all of the workshops, 4 different level of tickets. Super easy to do as well. And once you've done this, you publish the ticket, then people can just register to your event right away without you requiring to do anything else. And after they've bought a ticket, they can just sign in to the event and get access to the entire experience. You have a few other interesting and more advanced features like promo codes, add-ons to the tickets. I won't go into that right now. You can upload videos, which you can live stream like there. So for example, you can live stream a pre-recorded session. Then you get the recordings after the event here. You can upload presentation videos, add sponsors on different categories, expo booths, networking tables, everything that you need. And I'll show you how this experience looks like in a minute. And just to give you an idea about how simple it is to, let's say, customize this experience, you just have to go to like theme, colors and fonts. You can change the font if you want for the entire page. You can change any color you want from the page from here. So anyone can customize it. So let's change the button colors and let's go for pink this time. Save and you'll see that the entire theme of the event changes to pink wherever you are on the page is now, with pink accents and everything. So super easy. Of course, you can change the logo, you can change the text. I won't go into that. And then one last important aspect is you'll see that this event is hosted on my personal domain. So you can do that from here in 3 minutes. You can connect your own domain and the event will look like it's hosted on your servers, but it's actually hosted on our servers, but running from your link, which is pretty cool. And whenever attendees come to your event, they will, sign up to your terms and conditions and so on. So that's very important for corporate event organizers. Now I will sign into the event and show you how it looks like. You can actually go to demo.sellability.ro and get a free ticket and you can enjoy it yourself to see how it works if you want. So right now I'm in the lobby of the event. You have the chat on the right. Hey guys, you can see who's live. You can access the Q&A, polls. You can create polls. Then as an organizer, you have an abuse area where you can, block users if they were naughty. Now, these are the live sessions happening right now. I'll go into this one, which is a pre-recording of me doing a demo. Very simple experience with all the interaction needed for the live sessions as well. Then you have the expo area where expo exhibitors can put a presentation video and an ad, some offers. They can chat with the people present at the booth. They can upload files with presentations. Essentially, they can generate business from this area. And then you have the networking area where we have networking tables, which can be branded. You can join a table and then have a conversation on video with anyone really that's present at the event. It's live streaming from the browser. It has very little lag, almost real time. Pretty cool experience. So as you can see, it's a very robust product. It can be used out of the box by anyone, and very easy to work with. Okay, I think I've exceeded
Great,
by
great.
10 minutes, but
It's fine. It's
I hope
only
that's okay.
5 minutes because we had a warm up for
Only
the
5
first
minutes.
5.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And glad that we have already quite a few questions. And the first one refers to the investment techniques more. But I will continue with first. I will address the first question regarding the product, because you just finished the demo. So with regard to the hosting page, event, ticket price, personal data, how is the platform working in the background, in cloud, on machine?
Yeah, the platform is in terms of infrastructure, the platform is hosted on Google Cloud. We've built everything on Firebase with Google Cloud and React Native for the front end. Super scalable, easy. Well, and in terms of payments, we have a very cool integration with Stripe. So event organizers, they need to create a Stripe account, which they connect with our platform, and that's all they need to do afterwards. Whenever somebody buys a ticket, our commission and their share is split automatically, and that's basically how it works. I hope I answered the.
And regarding the cloud, who is managing the cybersecurity? Who is legally responsible in case of any data breach? Eventmix or the event organizer, or the supplier of for the server?
Well, in
host?
principle, the supplier, but it's Google. So I'm if it's let's split it into if it's their if the breach was because of Google, then Google will be responsible. If the breach is because of us, then we'll be responsible, I guess. Andrei, if you have anything to add to that, by all means.
No, that makes sense. I mean, there are protections in place at every layer and by every organizations involved, from Google to Eventmix. So yeah, everybody is taking this very seriously. Obviously, Google is operating one of the largest clouds, so they presumably have their bases covered, and we have a great engineering team, so we have our bases covered as well.
Yeah.
Okay, before taking the investment part, also about the product. Actually, it's a mix between the two fields. It's you have Bravo from the audience, sophisticated software. The question is, how did you finance the creation of the beta software? How much was bootstrapped? How much investors, crowdfunding so far?
Okay, the finance. So there were three aspects about the financing. First of all, the initial investment, which was made into SoundMix, the initial product, that basically helped us build the core technology. So we have an investment of around 800,000 euros on that part. Then for the next part, pivoting the business, we had a company, an IT company from Cluj, joined us as a shareholder. So they got equity in exchange for their services. So they helped us build it. Plus, we got some other angel investors to participate. Also, we also put some money. So that's pretty much how it was financed.
Okay, and that brings me to the first question addressed here. Why does Gapminder is not part of this round, as they've been an early investor?
Who says
before?
they're not? It's not maybe visible yet, but we're pretty confident that it will be.
Okay, probably they refer to the structure of the round already published on SeedBlink.
Maybe.
Yeah, so
yeah.
there we announced the business angels that are coming there with 200K in this round, 250K, and probably that's why the attendee raised the question with.
So I don't want to have I don't want to speak before it's official or anything. So from our indications, Gapminder will participate in this round, but I can't yet say anything official about it. So
okay, so it's a parallel discussion that is kept aside. That's why we haven't published anything about it until it's official. So we cannot promise or publish anything that is not officially confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay. Is in the financial projection that is published on SeedBlink, probably by the way, everybody should know that starting with this morning, you have all the information of the round and all the details about the project and the team and everything published for the ones having an account with SeedBlink. So coming back in the financial projection, I have not seen any future financing round for the next 3 years. Is that realistic?
No, I focused basically the financial projections on where can this round take us. You will see in the pitch deck that we're actually aiming to go to reach 60,000 euros MRR before we raise the next round, which we think that that's the right moment to do it. So honestly, as soon as we see that we have the growth that we're looking for, we've already discussed with different VC funds, and we're super positive that we'll be able to raise the next round, as long as, of course, the business is growing well. So our focus right now is to grow the business to that level, and then of course raise the next round. But I didn't want to, you don't want to over promise and under deliver. So I think we should be conservative in projections and optimistic in actions. So we'll see where that takes us.
But for sure, the normal course of business should
to raise the next round,
bring you there.
Yeah.
So there's no sense that if you grow according to the plans, not to have the Series A round in the next years. Okay. Any information about the existing MRR?
So we're actually very early, and as you saw, there's no subscriptions yet, so there's no recurring revenue yet. So we've monetized a few events. We actually gave the product for free for a few customers to test it, to see how it works, and so on. We've generated some revenue from different events. I think the most was 4,000 euros per event. But we didn't focus on that. For us, what was important was to get the product in the market very fast, see that it's working, see that it brings value to the customers, and then push for sales. And of course, introduce the subscriptions, which will generate recurring revenue. So at the moment, you can't talk about any MRR yet.
But maybe you can make a connection with the reason for the current round, which is a sort of bridge to the Series A. How you will allocate the budgets? Actually, there is sort of information on our platform for the ones with account in SeedBlink. But if you can say here a few words about how you will allocate the budget accordingly with the current round.
Sure. So as you saw from the product demo, the product is quite robust, and we are in a point where I'm not afraid to share it with anyone. You can go in yourself, test it, use it for free. You can actually use it for free up to 25 attendees per event, so it won't cost you anything to just go ahead and use it. So we're very confident about the product now. Now the next phase of the business will be to invest in sales teams, which we need, partnerships, marketing. So essentially build the business because we already have the product. So that's where the money will go mostly. We will of course continue to invest in product, but most of the money will be invested in building the sales organization and generating customers, leads, and so on.
And then it's a good moment for asking you the next question: how big is the existing team? And if you can say a few words about the R&D, the development team is outsourced, is part of Eventmix.
We're actually a very small team. We apart from the development team, it's myself, one more colleague, and Andrei. So the development team was outsourced. I told you that we worked with Rebel Dot, with an IT company from Cluj. But even though some people think that working with an external team, outsourcing is complicated and so on, we had a very, very cool model with Rebel Dot. So the product that you saw was designed by me. I have a UX experience and design. That's what I did for LiveRail as well. So actually, Rebel Dot gave me a team that I'm working with. They're distributed all across Romania. So I'm the product manager. I have calls with them every morning at 9. We essentially built the product together, and I worked with them like they were my own team. Now, one other benefit from this was that going forward, I can decrease or increase the number of people that I need depending on whatever I need, without having extra, problems or discussions or overhead. So it's for the state where the company is at. So for this early stage, I think it was a very great model for us.
Okay. Coming back to a sort of a technical question, is it currently browser based? What are the plans for the iOS, Android, Windows, or Mac apps?
Yeah, currently it's browser based. It works well from mobile as well. We have an app for iOS and Android in development. We didn't put a lot of emphasis on the app because for now we wanted the product just to be very stable on the web. And in this case, it was just simple, more simple for us to just be out there and launch the product. But we have plans to finish the iOS and Android apps very soon.
Great. also coming back to the legal part, authorities across the world are more and more keeping the platforms responsible for the content distributed by their users. How will you handle the content moderation and make sure that illegal content is not broadcasted on your platform?
So this is something that we addressed. This is built into the product. So as you saw, I put the event on my own domain, right? So it was we could put the domain on events.seedblink.com. Now, when your domain, when your event is on your own domain, that means that you will put your own terms and conditions, privacy policies. So whenever somebody joins your event, they actually adhere to your terms and conditions and privacy policy and GDPR. We are just the platform behind. We are like like any other platform that you use to put your content on, but you are the one as an organizer responsible for that content. We will not distribute any content outside of your event, so we essentially don't even know what type of content you're running there. And that's how the product was built. That was the whole idea with the privacy and security behind it, to allow you to do that. And yeah, we won't be the ones responsible for that content. And I know that with Trilulilu, I was the one responsible for that content, not going there again. So we're very careful about that.
Okay. Another question about the history of the company. How much percent did you invest in marketing sales so far, and how much in tech?
Well, the truth is almost nothing in marketing and sales so far. We mostly focused on building the product. This was started in May, June last year. So we only had like around a year to build this product. We couldn't really push for scaling sales because we didn't have enough feature set in the product to be able to really go for more sales. So we believe that now is the moment, and now it's we're going to put our investments behind that, behind sales and marketing.
What other markets are you? Now it's about the future. What other markets are you targeting aside from corporate events? Where are competitors making money now? Concerts, other performing arts, teleshopping, live sports?
Yeah, it's I think for a startup it's very important to focus. So in the immediate period, we can't say that we'll go for everything because it's very hard to cover all of the use cases possible out there. Having said that, the platform is very well suited for concerts as well, because if you're an artist that wants to live stream their concert, what you do is you create this landing page for your concert. It's on your own domain, which means that you own the copyrights, you are in charge of your content, which is super important for musicians. And then you can sell tickets for your audience. So you can do that. But in terms of our focus, we will not be focusing on that market yet, because I think we have a huge opportunity with the corporate events market, and we have to focus on something, and that's what we'll be focusing on.
Great. I think we have concluded with the audience questions. Thank you very much for the very I would say in-depth questions and for the answers. And I have prepared also two questions, one for each of the two panelists. If I may use a short time for that. Andrei, because now you are waked up after it's almost 9 o'clock also at your place. how do you see the future of the online events industry from now on? What is your view from the US?
Yeah, virtual events are here to stay. I think everybody scrambled to find a solution during this pandemic year, and they were surprised to find out that online events actually work. I think in many cases, event organizers discovered that they had more attendees than they were expecting or they were hoping for. I think they also discovered that this is a net new revenue stream for them. And I can speak from personal experience. I attended events that were offline in the past, and I attended them virtually, and it was a great experience. Like I wouldn't have traveled to these places in a normal year, but because the event switched to this virtual platform, I was able to attend and I was able to get value out of that. And whether I'm talking to friends or professional connections, the feeling is pretty uniform. So pretty much across the board, people feel that virtual events are here to stay. Sure, offline events will come back, but I believe that event organizers that were used to running these offline events will definitely run hybrid events going forward. So yeah, I'm really bullish about this space, and the opportunity is really huge. That's how I see it from here as well.
Okay, and maybe we can make thank you, Andrei. You can make a connection with a question just that was just appearing on the Q&A. What are the main reasons behind the 5 million valuation?
So the main reason is we actually got investors that already committed to that valuation. So we are going with the same terms as these investors that already, the valuation is kind of set. But in terms of establishing.
By the way, if I may make a short comment here, I know that you were a bit surprised that we pushed you to align fully the conditions for the crowd investing, crowd investors with what other investors have. So sorry for a short fight about it, but we really want to have a full alignment on that, both on the valuation, but also to the other conditions.
No, absolutely. I think it was a fair thing to do, and just to give context, we already received money on this valuation before we started the crowdfunding round. So we had discussions with SeedBlink that SeedBlink investors will receive the same conditions as these investors that have already put money. So, but if the question is more related to, how can you justify this valuation compared to where you are? I can tell you that the valuations for startups at this stage is not an exact science. It's more or less you have to take a few things into consideration, including what the business needs in terms of money to become successful and get to the next phase, to reach its milestone. So that's one thing. And the money that you need, so let's say you need $1 million, okay? Let's say you need €1 million. We'll make it simple. If you need €1 million to go to the next phase, then okay, so and then you will need to value the business at a valuation that doesn't dilute the founders and existing investors so much so that they become disinterested in the business. So for the same example, you have €1 million. If you put the valuation at 2 million, then everybody will get a 50% haircut, and then nobody will care about that business anymore because they don't have enough percentages. And that's why it's kind of balanced. Usually you need to have a dilution of about 10 to 15%, let's say 20, in order to accommodate such a round. So as I said, it's not like you're valuing a factory when you sell it, which has, real estate assets and blah, blah, blah. It's a different type of valuation for the early stage that we're at, and it's kind of standard across the industry.
Okay, just received a question on the chat. Would the cap table be available for the other investors?
I think so. I think we can provide that. To give you a bit of context, the founders after this round will have over 55%, and the rest will be investors. So that's pretty much how
the
the
ones
captive.
mentioned already in the structure of the round, and the information about them, about the business angels and the VC investor are already on the SeedBlink platform.
Yeah.
As far as I know. Okay, and that's important to be noted that the founders will keep 55%.
At least I think it's 55 or 57. But
okay.
I think one more important aspect about this round, and we also had discussions with SeedBlink about it, we wanted to make a very clean and simple equity round. So we're after this round, the cap table will be the one that will be the we'll have a final cap table after this round. There will not be outstanding convertible notes, outstanding anything. So it's a clean sheet, and the company doesn't have any other type of convertibles or anything to convert into the cap table.
Mm-hmm. Before going to the last question about the main arguments you may have for the investors to be part of your story, I would ask you, Sergio, because as I know you and probably other people are asking themselves, how much time do you have available for allocating to this project, for this new project, knowing that you are present in many other streams?
I'm actually allocating almost all of my time. At least my business time is allocated for Eventmix, which means, imagine that, I took this project starting from 2018 with Soundmix, etc. But I worked for an entire year with the team to build it to this phase. That was a full-time job. That was not something that you can do on the side and between other stuff. So I've allocated my full time to this project. I'm continuing to do so. Now, having said that, of course, I will keep running my podcast, which is like a hobby, but I really care a lot about it. I have some other businesses where I'm an investor in and things like that, but these do not interfere with my day-to-day activities with Eventmix. And I care a lot about this business. I think it's a huge opportunity that we have. Still, it's a huge market. It's very exciting to work in such a big market, and with we have global ambitions about the startup. So it's too good of an opportunity for me to do something else.
Okay, another question was just raised. You can provide a short answer. Is there a cliff? This is on chat. Is there a cliff period for the founders?
Yeah, I think it's. I think we have reverse vesting for 50% of our shares. So yeah, and lockup period for our shares for like 3 years. So don't worry about it. We're not running anywhere. We're here.
Okay, so pretty much the standard conditions for this stage of the startup.
Yeah.
Okay, and now the last questions before also starting a short survey with the audience. Let's start with Andrei. If you can share with us, in your opinion, what are the two main reasons for the private investors to join the story of Eventmix at this stage?
Sure. As I alluded to earlier, this is a huge opportunity. The pandemic opened up this Pandora's box of virtual event needs, and it feels like we're swimming in opportunity. We are, Eventmix is at a very early stage, as the business will scale and it will grow, the opportunity to invest will become more remote for individual investors that are not institutions. So it feels like the perfect time right now at this early stage to join this journey with us. And having started a couple of other companies, one of them being LiveRow. When we started LiveRow and we had these global ambitions and we were seeing this opportunity, there were no platforms like SeedBlink. So we had to go to institutional investors, and we had to go outside Romania and outside of Eastern Europe to find those investors. It's so much more satisfying for us as Romanian entrepreneurs to work with Romanian investors in building something big, something grand, something successful. That opportunity didn't exist before, it exists now. I hope everyone will take advantage of it.
Thank you, Andrei. Not even with you at Path more recently was this opportunity. Right. So
yeah.
No. Okay, thank you very much, and also thank you for joining so early for you, so early.
Yeah, of course,
in the morning.
No problem. I'm used to all these calls with Romania and Europe, so no big deal.
Thank you, Andrei. And Sergio, as a main co-founder and CEO, in your opinion, if you put yourself in the shoes of private investors, what do you think are the two main reasons you would consider for joining the story of Eventmix as an investor?
So whenever I look myself to invest in something, first and foremost, I look at the founding team. And I mean, I don't mean to, not be humble, but we've built several businesses in the past, and we're giving all that we have into this business, and I think that's one of the main reasons somebody would invest, because you have a team behind it that has a proven record, has done things before, has successful exits, and is the type of opportunity that you don't normally have. Yeah, of course you can invest in different ideas and different founders, but not all of them have been through so many things that we have. So I have to really say this, and that would be the main reason. Now, the second reason is that even though it's at an early stage, this business has a robust product. It can generate revenues already. We've proven that we have interested partners in it. We have some opportunities already waiting for us to just grab them. So I think we're in a great phase, and we can really take this business to the next level. And let's say the third would be that it's a huge market where there won't be, like, it's not a winner take all type of market. I think we have our chance to really go for it. So I think, yeah, these are the three reasons, not two, that I would look for.
Great. It's thank you both for the answers and for the interactions and for your presence here on SeedBlink TV broadcasting. It's a good moment for asking the audience with an anonymous survey if they would invest, yes or no, in Eventmix.live. Just choose one of the two options, and you'll provide anonymous feedback to the two founders present here. And yeah, host and panelists can vote. It's written there. And I can remind you in the meantime that all the information about this round are public already on SeedBlink platform since today at 10 a.m. You can make your analysis and carefully study all the information of the company proposed for investment, and as well you have this kind of timing until Tuesday morning, so 5 days actually, when the public campaign will start on SeedBlink. So it will be ready for investment. So in the meantime, you can only access this kind of information on the platform. And yeah, it's a long weekend in Romania. That's why we decided to start the public campaign on Tuesday. So in the meantime, yeah, please, and the forum is already active there. You can start asking questions for both to Sergio or to Andrei, and yeah, we can make the connections and the interaction there. So we are done with this event. Thank you very much for the interaction and for presenting Eventmix.live, and have a very vivid evening, everybody, or a nice day in the US. And not necessarily online now. We are done with the online. Let's move outside.
Thank you so much. It was great. Thank you for the questions, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. It was great to be here with you.
Thank you, Sergio. Thank you, Andrei. See you. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.